Hi everyone. I played some games this morning. I didn't record them, unfortunately. I screwed up. But I wanted to talk about something I learned today, and I want to explain a little bit about peeling, because I know I mentioned it in my videos a lot, but I have some thoughts about it. And I think I want to share them. So, I think in the base position, right? Sorry. Okay, in the base position you have a player here, maybe, and a player here, right? Assume this is a beach court, right? I don't know. There's a player over there and a player over here. So like I've mentioned, right? When you peel, it's basically like let's say you serve the ball, right? So the ball comes over the net. And then let's I don't know, this guy receives it, right? Or this person receives it, so they send it to the setter. Then one person needs to be up at the net here, right? So you're up at the net. And then you look at the setter's ball, right? The setter's ball comes onto the net. And then if the ball is really tight, you stay up at the net and you try to block the ball down, right? If the ball is not tight enough that this hitter right here on the right, um, if that hitter can't hit this whole zone here, um, then you can peel. That's kind of how you should think about it, right? And so let's say you're up at the net, you see a set, the set's off, so you peel. So you should run back to your base position, right? Um, why is it not? Okay, you need to run back to your base position, right? Okay, can I erase these lines? Yeah. So let's say you're back at your base position, right? So you should take two steps, right? So you can take one step to turn around off the net and two steps to get as far as you can, right? I don't care if you're not making it this far, right? If your two steps only take you to here, that's where you've peeled to. That's where you got to play, right? And you just force them to, hit the deep over you, right? And your partner can try to help you if they need to. But anyway, you focus on getting larger steps so you can get back to base position. And there's a lot of peel technique, but that's basically the basis of it. You need to get back to your base position because this is a much better defense when you know they're not going to hit it in this zone that I talked about, right? When you know they're not going to hit it in this zone, then you can peel and you can feel comfortable, right? Because basically once you're here, you got to be ready on your feet, and if they drop it short like here, you need to be still, right? So that you can run up, or if they drop it deep, right? You need to be able to run back, backpedal, knuckle it, or if it goes in the seam, you need to be able to do that, right? And if they try to hit it with any sort of pace, you can still take it, right? Maybe overhand, whatever, right? So this is much better than having a blocker up because when the ball is very set, not very tight, and your blocker's up here, then this person's not going to hit this zone anyway, probably, and they don't have a hard hit, right? So your blocker's not really taking any space because they're not gonna hit this low on the net anyway. I don't know. So they have this shot over the blocker. Like they have a lot of shots this person has to cover here, right? So that's why we want to peel. That's why I tell people peel often. It's very valuable. Anyway, so the thing I learned today was, so I was playing against a hitter, Michael Walsh, who's very good, or a player who's very good. This guy's incredible. I mean, he's like I don't know. He's like 5'8", 5'9", 5'7", something like that. He was very good. He actually coaches LABC. He's an extremely nice person, awesome to play with. I mean, his hands were like butter. Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, um, but so his partner, we were playing co-ed. His partner wasn't setting him that tight, right? His partner was putting it maybe 4 or 5 feet off it, and maybe 3 feet sometimes. There was only one time she overset it, right? And that time I was up at the net. But every other time I would peel, right? And so normally you give your like let's say I give my call, right? I'm usually calling, let's say I'm calling nothing on the left, right? Assume this fist is behind my back. I'm calling nothing on the left, and then I'm calling it basically one or two, right? If I call two, two basically means when you're blocking, two means I'm taking away this space, the cross, right? And one means I'm taking away this space in this example, right? If if the hitter were on this side, then one would be the line and two would be the angle, right? So that's how. So on if I were on this side, I would have this fist behind my back. I'd be showing my partner one or two, right? So then you put it all together, right? This is one over here, and this is two over here, right? So that's a very bad two, right? So that's how it works, right? One like one one. That's I'm blocking line on both sides. Two two. I'm blocking angle on both sides, and so on, right? Um. Anyway, but so Michael's shots were so good, right? Like I was peeling every time, right? So I would start. So he was actually playing on this side. I was playing on this side. We're both playing left. And so first I started peeling. I started calling two, right? Oh, and sorry. Here's the other thing I didn't mention. When you're calling one or two, usually you should also peel to where you call, right? Even though I'm the left side player, let's say I called one. Let's say I called one on this guy, right? Like my hands look like this in this case. I'm calling nothing on the left player, or I'm calling nothing on this player, and I'm calling something on this player, right? That's what my hands look like behind my back. If you could impose them behind me, right? So I'm calling one on him. So then that means I go up to the net, and if I don't think he can hit it in the zone that we talked about, then I'm going to peel back to the line, right? I'm going to peel to the line. And then my partner needs to actually, so while I'm calling the one block, my partner moves over here, right? And then as I'm peeling to the line, my partner kind of needs to take a little more court than me, right? Because I'm moving backwards, right? It's very hard. I think it's much harder on the person peeling in a way, because the person peeling, I need to go up to the net and I need to go back, right? So while I'm moving back, if I'm not fast enough, then if he drops it short on me, right, it's a lot of stress. I need to be able to actually go and reach that. If he puts it over me, I need to be able to get that, right? Because that's what I've told my partner. I'm peeling that way. That's my ball, right? So, and here's the other thing. If I'm peeling back, so I went up to the net. I see the set. I'm coming back. I'm peeling back. He hits the ball deep seam. I like, in my opinion, when your partner's peeling in this case, like this is kind of the zone. This is kind of the zone this person has to take, right? Because the peeler's in transition. It's much harder. So you have to take more. I don't know. You take 60% of the court, right? So you should try to take basically everything you can when you're not the person peeling, because they're under more stress. It's much harder for them, right? If the peeler can pick up a high line, pick up a short, they've done their job, right? It's not their job to pick up the seam. It's not. I don't know. It's not necessarily their job to pick that up. If they can pick it up, that's great. But anyway, so let's say I would always peel on Michael. So I'd move back. My partner was here, but then Michael would hit. I mean, first of all, sometimes he would hit short here, and I could pick those up some of the time, right? But I'm like confident. I'm like, okay, I can pick those up, right? That's not on my partner. That's on me, right? But sometimes my partner's feeling the stress, right? My partner's like, dang, like I gotta help Peter cover all of this, and I gotta help Peter cover all this. Like this is really hard, right? Because if my partner cheats a little bit this way, because it looks like Michael's really good at hiding his intentions, so it looks like Michael's gonna hit this deep seam, right? My partner's cheating a little this way, then Michael just cuts it over here, right? Then who's gonna pick that up, right? Because I'm moving backwards, my partner's moving this way, no one's here, right? So and this kept happening, right? So I started calling two block on Michael, right? So I started calling two block. I was saying, yeah, I'm gonna take this space here, and then so I'd peel that way. I'd peel to the two, right? So I'd go up to the net. I'd look at the set. It wasn't tight enough. I'd peel back to the two. And then what would happen this time? Well, first of all, I'm responsible for this, like I've described. I'm responsible for kind of this area, or maybe even a little less. I'm responsible for sort of this area, right? My partner's responsible for this area. But then Michael would look like he's going to swing hard, deep, right? Or he would imply he's going to swing here, and sometimes he would just tip it right here, right? Like these are my responsibility, right? But this is my partner's responsibility. This is my partner's responsibility, right? These are hard balls, right? So Michael was scoring a lot on these, and I was thinking, well, what are we gonna do, right? I'm like I can't be up at the net. Okay, and let me answer this as well. Every time I would stay up there to block, regardless of if I'm blocking the angle or if I'm blocking the line. I mean, Michael's got amazing court vision, amazing shots. So wherever my partner was set up, I mean, he could hit this, he could hit this. Like it's extreme stress, right? It's very hard to pick up this high line, especially when it's a very good player, right? So I'm like, no, I can't just stay up there and block either. Then I'm leaving my partner. Like we mentioned at the start of the video, it's better to have two people in base position than a blocker generally, unless it's a hard swing. So, okay. So now what? What do we do, right? How do we beat this play? He's doing so well. He's just punishing us. And the answer was we need to trick him on the peels, right? Because I know I mentioned when you go up and you're trying to peel back, right? You try to get back to this base position, but you can cheat a little. You can cheat a little, and sometimes you have to, right? So like, because it's hard to take those two steps. Like we mentioned, you get two steps to move back, right? But like, it's hard if you're a little late. If you're a little late, you're only here. You're only here by the time they're hitting, right? But anyway, so the person can peel a little shorter, right? So I can go up and I can peel a little shorter, right? And I can be confident that I can pick up a little short. And then if he hits it high, I can just hope my partner picks it up, right? So you can do a little bit of cheating in that sense, right? But basically, I said to my partner, I'm not going to block Michael anymore, all right? If he hits it, he hits it. Basically, like I'm basically committing to not blocking him. I'm going to go up to the net anyway because if I'm not, basically if I don't go up to this net, if I don't ever go up to this net, then his partner's going to know that. His partner's going to set him very tight. and then Michael's gonna put it down wherever he wants, right? He can hit anything, right? So I need to go up to the net every time. I need to stand up here to block. Then the partner won't put the ball so tight, right? Because I'm up there to block. So then the partner puts it 3-4 feet off, and then I need to peel. But then instead of just peeling one way or the other, like kind of like thinking, okay, that's the play where I was gonna beat him with, I realized I need to trick him. I don't like tricking people. I like playing fundamental, but I mean in this case I felt like I needed to mix up my ones and twos just for the peel, not even for the block, just for the peel. I've never seen that before. I've never thought about that. That you need to mix up your peel. Like mixing up the peel could be as important as mixing up the block, because in this case we weren't even blocking, right? So that's what we did. So we won game 1 and 2. They won game 2 and 3, and then the last game was when this idea came to me. So we started mixing up the peel a lot more and saying we're not going to block him, right? So then every time I'm up here, right? So let's say I'm up here, I'm representing a block, right? And Michael's got the ball like 4 feet off, right? Because we said the partner sees. I'm up here. Then he's trying to use his court vision. He's trying to see where my partner is, right? My partner is probably over here. My partner could be here, right? He's looking at my partner. I'm up here, right? He thinks I'm at the net. Well, he's got to respect the fact that I'm at the net. But then I might peel this way. I might peel this way, right? And so I can pick up this cut. I can pick up this short, just because the peeler's normally a little tighter to the net than this other person, right? So I would mix that up, and then I started picking some of those up, right? And I don't know. I felt like that was honestly the difference. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of my thoughts about peeling technique and so on. Yeah, and finally, as a general rule of thumb, I know Mark Burek from Better at Beach, he likes to say basically you should peel. How do you say? I think you should peel unless they can hit. Like when you see a set, you should peel unless it looks like unless you think the person could hit 7 out of 10 balls in the first, this percent of the court, something like that, right? Like I think that's the way. So oh, and last thing I want to mention. So when you're peeling, right? So I'm up at the net, I'm peeling, right? So I see the set. I think I'm peeling, and why am I peeling? I'm peeling because the ball's tight, because the ball's not gonna go in this sort of shorter zone. They're not gonna hit it straight down, right? So I'm peeling, so I move back. So while you're peeling, you should have your hands kind of up. And the reason is because if they are going to hit it with any pace at all, it's going to land in this back zone. It's going to land in the back of the court. So your hands need to be up. If your arms are down here, you're not going to dig anything strong anyway. Because you're peeling. You're peeling because you're saying they're not going to hit it in front of you unless they do something crazy, right? So you got to just have your hands up, whether you're going to deep dish it, whether you're going to knuckle it, whether you're just going to slap it, right? You got to be ready for that. Anyway, let me know what you think about the video. I just wanted to share these thoughts I had. I thought they were kind of fun. Anyway, thanks for watching.